Louie Peddledoo, and you're watching Happy There's Nothing Wrong with the World News at 5. Coming up on tonight's news, a dramatic tale of how a widow old lady saved her kitten from a tweed, but more on that story later. Our top news is the announcement that Nastylee's Chocolate Candy Company would once again slash their prices was met with a joyous planting in the street. We now take you to a live interview with Nastylee's CEO, Gree D. Corporate Master.
Thank you, Lily. Hi, I'm Anna D. Here with special guest, Gree D.
It's such an honor to be here, Anna.
So tell me, Gree, how do you manage to cut the price on your already delightfully cheap and delicious Nastylee chocolate?
Well, you see, Anna, due to the availability of cheap child labor in Africa, we were able to cut our already rock-bottom labor costs, reduce consumer end price, and still make truckloads of money.
Wow! What an inspiring tale!
And work motivation is higher than ever. To promote this, we make beatings a regular part of our daily schedule and promise extra beatings to those who misbehave.
Oh my!
Because who likes children anyway?
Yeah!
And to make sure that we have plenty of children available, we pay the parents just pennies a day so they have to send their children to work for us.
Well, we do all love cheap chocolate.
After all, the North American consumer doesn't care about the suffering of others. They just want their cheap chocolate. And that is how the Nastylee Corporation is helping North America!
Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom with our audience. And I'll be sure to tell all my friends, because I have so many, to buy Nastylee.
Buy Nastylee and support child suffering.
Thank you, Anna. Now don't touch that dial. Coming up next is our happy weather report with sunny skies and rainbows.
You know what? Maybe that's why we should keep our heaters off in the day and or night. Probably help you with that drive up. I'll let them ask. We have an accounts manager actually. We have an accounts manager from Nova Scotia Power. I just received a letter today.
I guess I'll go with the coffee crisp.
Excuse me, miss, but do you realize you just bought non-FairTrade chocolate?
Excuse me, what?
Follow me. Come on, come on. Oh, hurry up, hurry it up. Come on. Lovely day for a skip. gusty bit of wind. All right.
Why did you take me here?
To show you the FairTrade chocolate.
But it's like 50 cents more expensive than the chocolate that I already bought.
Oh, the quality, my pretty. The quality! Listen, the chocolate here may be more expensive, but here are the things you get when you buy FairTrade. First off, you know there was no slave labor involved in the making of this chocolate.
Like you actually expect me to believe that there's still slave labor nowadays.
Oh, but there is, my dearie. Over 40% of all chocolate farms come from Côte d'Ivoire, located in Africa. In that place, it's common practice for children to be sold to corporations like Badbury and Nastily. Often these children are kept as slaves, and either paid only pennies a day or nothing at all. However, with FairTrade, you are guaranteed no slave labor.
Oh, that's great. But is that all FairTrade means?
No, FairTrade means a whole whack of other things. FairTrade means that workers are given decent hours, higher wages, and women and men are paid equally. Often money is donated to the community to fund for things like healthcare, education, and midwifery training.
That's amazing. But how do I tell which chocolates are FairTrade?
Look for the FairTrade logo on the product, which guarantees that it is certified FairTrade.
Yeah, but what does it look like?
I brought cue cards.
Wow, I'm buying FairTrade from now on. Goodbye, Coffee Crisp.
Here you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I can feel the fairness and happiness coursing through me already.
Have you ever wondered what fuels the so-called developed world? Simply chocolate, coffee, and sugar. All three things that we import from the South. I sometimes wonder how developed we'd be without them. Chocolate and sugar are two staples in most children's diets, and schools, sports teams, and kids organizations fundraise by selling cheap chocolate harvested by child slave labor or kids who have been trafficked from one country to another. It's quite ironic that we make money to go to school, have fun, and play sports at the expense of children who will never get to go to school because of cheap chocolate. Cheap chocolate seems to have quite a few expenses, doesn't it? Our society has many celebrations throughout the year, and chocolate and sugar are quite prominent in them. Christmas, Valentine's Day, and Easter. I don't think the values behind these holidays were based on human trafficking, child slave labor, ruining the environment, the exploitation of farmers. I mean, nothing says love like a box of slave labor chocolates. So it's easy to blame Nestle, Hershey, and Cadbury, but we're the ones buying what they're selling. There are some great Canadian companies that make sure their coffee, chocolate, and sugar does not exploit farmers or children. The Just Us and Coco Camino have products for all occasions. So next Halloween, play a trick on the big chocolate companies and treat yourself, children, and farmers by getting some FairTrade candy. If you're buying a chocolate, what's 50 cents more? To most of us, 50 cents more means little, but to those who are producing our chocolate, it means a chance to go to school, a chance for health care, or a chance to be a kid. Remember, you are only one, but you still are one. You cannot do everything, but you can still do something.
Outside.
But a nice hot drink will warm us up nicely. I wonder what they have.
Hi there! I'm Buffy and I will be your server today. What would you ladies like? Our special today is FairTrade coffee topped with whipped cream.
Ooh, I'll have that. Winifred, would you like one too?
I don't drink coffee. It makes my bladder act up. You know that, Hazel.
I'll live a little.
We also have FairTrade tea or FairTrade hot chocolate. I hate tea, and hot chocolate makes my blood sugar go through the roof. Well, water it is. Well, I never. The service here.
Oh, I love your yarn. It's fair trade. I'm knitting a scarf for my grandson, Artie.
Oh, well, it seems like FairTrade is popping up everywhere today. What other FairTrade products can you buy?
You know those panties I got for your birthday? Those are fair trade.
Oh my!
But you can also get sugar, fruit, chocolate, cocoa powder, various teas, cotton, even all the clothes and jewelry I buy are fair trade. There are many, many more things you can get fair trade nowadays. Just look at my shoes.
Here's your coffee, miss. Oh, and here's your water.
Come on, Winifred. Try some. Be a sport, dear.
Well, I guess I'm not gonna live forever.
Buffy, dear, why don't you get me another?
Of course. Oh, Hazel, you scandal. This is far better than what I used to drink back in my day. It's a shame all of the Depends I'm gonna use aren't gonna be fair trade, though.
Well, actually...
I love my cheap coffee fix.
North Americans spend nearly $20 billion annually on chocolate. Less than 1% of that is on fair trade.
Most slaves in the cocoa industry originated from Mali and are sold to Côte d'Ivoire for less than $35.
Cargill, the world's largest cocoa trader, stated that there is no market incentive to eliminate slavery from its supply chain.
FairTrade chocolate is mostly grown in shade, mimicking its natural forest ecosystem, and is grown following organic standards.
Cocoa farmers receive less than 5% from the sale of a standard chocolate bar, whereas FairTrade chocolate farmers and their communities receive at least twice as much.
FairTrade is a part of a larger movement about corporate social responsibility, influenced by the public desire to deal with companies that are committed to workplace quality, the environment, and employee well-being.
If coffee farmers received just 1 penny for every $1 cup of coffee, their children could go to school, have health care, and have a decent standard of living. Instead, they receive less than 1/10 of a penny.
I need a FairTrade coffee now. Oh! Ah, peace of mind.
In a world where it's common and accepted to use slave labor to produce cheap goods and commodities, few people stand up and fight. Few people believe they can make a difference. These are the chronicles of the warrior of hope, the purveyor of change, the caped crusader of social justice. These are the chronicles of Captain FairTrade!
Hello, Poppy, it's Dahlia. Phone Violet and tell her we're going out for iced coffee mochas. What time? Well, now. I'm craving one. Yes, I'm aware it's 5:30 in the morning. What's your point? Fine, see you there.
Hi, Dahlia.
To think that this would be the only store open at 6 o'clock in the morning. The nerve of some of these tacky little coffee shops to not be open 24/7 in case I get a craving. I really should tell my daddy to do something about it. What do you guys want? We'll have 3 iced cafe mochas.
Yeah, whatever. Want those regular or FairTrade?
Well, how much is FairTrade?
50 cents extra.
Oh, well, we'll just have regular then.
Wait a minute, Dahlia. Don't you remember that lesson we had at school on FairTrade? Don't you think it might be a good idea to...
Of course I remember, Poppy, but I don't think it's really important. I mean, it's not like it affects us or anything.
But Dahlia, remember what they were saying about how buying FairTrade means that the farmers paid a fair price for their product and there's no slave labor?
Oh, be quiet, Violet, as if our tiny purchase could even make the slightest difference. I mean, we're only kids. We're having regular, okay?
Okay.
Whoa.
Don't let people like Dahlia fool you. What you do here makes a difference.
I don't know. Maybe she's right. What does it matter that there's some random farmers in Latin America or Africa starving, since it doesn't really affect us?
Listen, Poppy, that's a perfectly horrid thing to say. Imagine, if you will, what it'd be like if you and your family's basic needs weren't even being met. You have to work long, hard hours growing coffee or cocoa beans, only to receive an unfair price for your crop. Now you don't have enough money for important things like healthcare, education, clothing, shelter, even food. That's what those random farmers have to deal with every day. Can you tell me that you really don't care about that?
Well, fine, but what can we do about it? We're just kids and we don't really have a say in this.
That's where you're wrong. Kids are the answer to this problem. You're the ones that companies that make coffee, sugar, and chocolate are looking to target. By writing to them and telling them that you're no longer buying their product because they aren't fair trade, you're forcing them to become fair trade. The only reason they use unfair means is because they know they can get away with it.
But why do we have to be the ones to do it?
Everybody has to be the one to do it. Only if we all work together can we make a real difference.
You're totally right. What else can we do to help?
Spread the word. Tell your parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, teachers, pets, long-lost twins, and anyone you can get a hold of. Encourage them to buy fair trade and ask their local grocery stores to carry fair trade products.
Wow, you totally changed our outlook. We're going fair trade from now on.
My job here is finished. Fair trade, hooray!
Violet, what's wrong with you? Violet and I are through with you. We're buying fair trade iced cafe mochas and you can just deal with it.
How dare you? Violet, let's ditch this weirdo. Here are your coffees. Finally.
I'm so glad we're friends.
Me too.
Clearly, some of the people and scenarios we put in our skits are kind of ridiculous, but everything we said here is true.
Names like Badberry and Nastily obviously aren't real, but they are placeholders for real companies that do use slave labor to make their candy.
Spread the word. Tell everybody that there are real people suffering and that we can choose to help them. And by choosing to help them, we help ourselves.
You, as a consumer, can change the world. It doesn't matter if you're 6 or 86.
Write letters to companies that you know use slave labor. Ask your local grocery stores to carry fair trade products. Get creative. There's a million things that you can do.
Together, we can make a difference.